All right, engineering students, we're going to talk about PowerPoint and working smarter, not harder. The first thing that you want to do on any project is make sure that you have met the requirements. The first thing to look at now, when I have open, I went ahead and made that a little bit smaller. I can close this and then I just click that to open it back out and it gives me more. And I'm going to make this a little bit smaller and sit it over on this side of my screen. These are all of the requirements. Of course, it says slide 1 should include the title of your presentation and your name. 2 and 3 should highlight and summarize your findings, and slide 4 should cite your resources. One of the things that we didn't really talk about was that on this PowerPoint, you'll notice that they have notes down here that go ahead and explain, and then this information was presented with it. So we have notes on all of them. You're only supposed to put a little bit on here to indicate what the content is about and to remind you, and then you put your notes down here on the bottom so that right before you give the presentation, you can go over your notes and be ready. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to open PowerPoint. You could just type PowerPoint into that. I'm just not used to that. So open PowerPoint, do a blank presentation. Now, what I want to show you is how to create your presentation in, I want to go back to architectural styles and to my requirements. And I want to show you how to do this in outline view. So if we go to outline view, this is so easy. Okay. The first one is my title. And I hit enter and I hit tab because I want to put the subtitle of Prairie Architecture. And you can't really tell, but I'm working in this pane. I'm not typing directly on here. So I'm going to do Control Z, Z. So when I hit enter, it created a new slide. But I didn't want a new slide. I wanted to put in the subtitle on the previous. So when I hit tab, it demotes it below the title slide. So Prairie Architecture, calm and collected. How's that? Now enter gives me another row underneath. But if I didn't want that, I hold down the shift key and hit tab and it gives me a new slide. So my next slide is decade or time period. I'm going to call it time period because decade is not necessarily indicative because some of these were not confined to a decade. Now, when we get into the modern era, like from the 1900s on, there is a decade which is primarily associated with them. So I'm going to put time period. Hit enter. The next thing is typical number of stories. And you should be using title case for the titles of the slide. Title case is every important word is capitalized. Now, building materials. Now, distinctive features. Now, how the purpose of the structure, site location, use of lines, form, and color are all used in the architectural style. So this is elements, use, and style. Okay, and then 3 examples. Or how about example 1? And I would go back and my examples, and then it wanted local area. You get bonus if you go out and get a picture of the local area. So now use of the style. and architects who may have used the style. Create. So there are some architects who are famously associated with particular styles. And then we want to identify the location. Now, I have more than 4 slides, obviously. I am a fan of actually breaking it up. All I have to do now, I'm going to actually change this from Prairie Architecture to Gothic Revival because that's my favorite. And fussy or plain. Now I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go Gothic Revival. And Wikipedia is actually a really good source. Go ahead and create a resources page and cite your sources. So first I'm going to right click images and do open in a new tab, and I'm going to leave this open, and then I'm going to open Gothic Revival here. So it's also known as Victorian Gothic, Neo-Gothic, or so. Control C. I'm going to put AKA, Control V, and then I'm going to click on my paste options and tell it to do the same as the rest. Okay, now here we go. I want to go over here to images, and this is an interesting one. When we're doing images though, one of the things that I want you to be aware of is that we can go up here to settings or tools. There we go, tools. And we want to go to size, and we want to choose large because that's going to give us something that won't pixelate so badly. So I told you that I wanted at least 2 examples, one of a grandiose use of the style, and I think that this would definitely qualify. So I'm going to copy image. I'm going to go back over here and I'm going to click on example 1, and I'm going to go paste, and I'm going to pause. Okay, now I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. I'm going to make that nice and big, and probably would want to go ahead and, instead of example 1, pull up the title. So this, look, this is pixelated, interestingly enough, even though I did choose large, but it would be so much worse if I had chosen something that wasn't that large. So you can see that I at least have all of my slides and all my titles. And I know I'm going to have, now I do need to have a conclusion and resources. And as I go to Wikipedia, go back here, go to Wikipedia, I'm going to go ahead and Control C, go back over here to resources, Control V, enter, got that in there. So anytime, and now I need to go back to the picture and click on it and click through to, oh, it won't let me click through. Actually, it did. Even though it doesn't show it to us, it gives me the link. Control C. And one of the things that you could also do is that you could go back to example 1, and I can right click and put format picture, and I need text box. Nope. I wanted to put a caption on it. Let me go to the format menu. Okay, well, what I'll do is I'll hit enter, Control V. There we go. It just put it in a text box, and I have it right there. Now I can do that. I have my reference there. And so this is all really easy whenever you collect the information that you need as you're doing it. and you go back in. And in a later installment, I'll show you. So don't bother messing with anything like backgrounds and those kind of things until you have all your content in place. When you have all your content in place, you can go to the design slide and you can pick some kind of a theme that goes with it. You can add transitions and animations, but don't do that until all your content is in place so that you know that you have a grade, because you can give me all the fancy stuff, and if you don't give me the content, you're not going to make a good grade. Okay. That's all. Do well.